Emily never thought a move across town could change her life so fast. The house looked normal from the outside: white walls, small garden, quiet street. Inside, everything felt new and uneasy. Her mother smiled more these days, happy with her new marriage. Emily tried to smile too, but her heart was still tired from the breakup she never talked about. She was 22, done with college, unsure of her next step. Moving in with her mom and stepfather felt like going backward. David was kind but distant, always polite, always busy. Then there was Ryan, David's son, her new stepbro. Ryan was 24, tall, calm, and serious. He worked long hours and came home late. At first, they barely spoke. A short hello in the hallway, a nod in the kitchen, silence during dinner. Emily noticed he never stared, never asked personal questions. That made her feel safe, but also strangely curious. The house had rules without words. Everyone respected space. Emily stayed in her room most of the day, sending resumes, replaying memories she wanted to forget. At night, the silence grew heavy. She missed noise, missed feeling understood. One evening, a storm rolled in fast. Thunder shook the windows, rain hit the roof hard. Then everything went dark. The power went out, and the house went quiet in a new way. Emily froze in the hallway, phone light shaking in her hand. She hated storms since childhood. The dark made her thoughts louder. She sat on the stairs, hugging her knees, trying to breathe. That was when she heard footsteps, slow and careful. Ryan appeared with a flashlight and 2 candles. He asked softly if she was okay. Emily nodded, embarrassed by her fear. He sat a few steps away, not too close, giving her room. They waited as the storm raged on. Ryan joked lightly about old houses and bad wiring. Emily smiled without thinking. The tension in her chest eased. They started talking, first about small things. Where Emily went to school, why Ryan chose his job. Then the words came faster, deeper. Emily talked about her breakup, not the details, just the pain. Ryan listened without interrupting, his eyes steady, honest. He shared his own story, a relationship that ended quietly, without drama, but left him empty. Emily felt something shift. She was not alone in her hurt. The power stayed out longer than expected. They laughed at how late it had gotten. The storm slowly faded, but the warmth stayed. When the lights finally came back on, neither rushed away. After that night, things felt different. Ryan made coffee in the mornings, always offering her a cup. Emily started joining him at the table. Their talks became part of the day, easy and natural. She noticed small things. How Ryan remembered details. How he noticed when she was quiet. How he never crossed lines, never made things awkward. Emily told herself it was just comfort. Living with new people could do that. But her heart reacted before her mind could stop it. One afternoon, she came home early. Ryan was in the garage fixing an old shelf. He smiled when he saw her, asked how her day went. The normal question felt personal. They talked until the sun went down. Emily forgot the time, forgot her worries. Later that night, alone in her room, she realized something scared her. She was starting to care. She reminded herself of reality. They were step-siblings, family by marriage. This feeling had no place to grow. Yet it had already started, quietly, without permission. The house no longer felt empty. But Emily did not know if that was a good thing. Emily tried to ignore the feeling growing inside her, but it was impossible. Ryan became part of her daily life in ways she could not avoid. He made breakfast sometimes, left small notes on the fridge wishing her a good day. They walked together when they went to the store, carried groceries together, joked about the smallest things. Everything seemed innocent, normal, yet Emily felt an unusual warmth when he was near. She told herself it was just kindness, that living under the same roof created closeness. But small moments made her heart race. The way Ryan paused to notice her mood, the way he remembered what she liked, the way he offered support without being asked. She tried to stay rational, reminding herself that he was her stepbrother, that feelings could not cross that line. but denial felt weaker every day. One afternoon, Emily came home early from an interview. The house was quiet, and she heard Ryan on the phone in the living room. His voice was low, serious, determined. He was turning down a job offer in another state, saying he needed to stay close to home. Emily froze, listening to words she never expected. He spoke about family, about keeping life steady, about not wanting to leave someone important behind. Her heart thudded. She wondered who he meant. The next evening, she decided to ask him directly. They sat on the back porch, the sky painted in soft orange and pink. Emily forced herself to sound casual, asking why he had refused the offer. Ryan hesitated, looking away. When he spoke, his voice was quiet, careful. He said he felt responsible for her happiness, that he could not stand the thought of her feeling alone. Emily felt a rush of emotion, something confusing and raw. She wanted to feel relief, yet fear gnawed at her. This was not just care, it was deeper, and it frightened her. She tried to pull away, reminding herself that boundaries existed. They were step-siblings, family, and nothing could cross that line. But the truth was already out, floating in the air between them. For days, they barely spoke. The house felt colder, emptier. Even small smiles at the dinner table felt forced, strained. Emily missed his calm presence, the way he listened, the way he made her feel safe without words. One evening, as they ate together, Ryan reached under the table and slid a folded note into her hand. Her heart skipped a beat. She opened it later, alone in her room. It said he needed to talk honestly, that he could not hide his feelings any longer. Emily stared at the words, feeling a mix of fear and relief. She wanted to understand, wanted to run, wanted to scream, all at once. The next day, she tried to act normal, pretending the note did not exist. But Ryan's eyes found hers at every opportunity, calm, serious, full of something unspoken. They avoided the topic until the evening, when Emily finally agreed to meet him at a quiet park. The air was cool, the wind carried the scent of flowers and grass. Ryan spoke first, explaining he had feelings he never expected, feelings he tried to ignore. He assured her he would respect boundaries, step back if she asked. But he could not pretend any longer. Emily felt tears rise, not from shame, but from relief. She admitted her own confusion, her guilt, her longing. They both understood that their emotions were real, yet complicated. They agreed that nothing would happen unless it was right and respectful. It was a promise of honesty, a promise to protect family, a promise to protect each other. The days that followed were filled with tension and care. Emily received a job offer in another city, a chance to start fresh. Ryan helped her pack, quietly, respectfully. Every shared memory, every small joke, every coffee together was a reminder of what they felt, and what they could not act on yet. At the airport, they hugged, a long, careful hug. He let go first, telling her she deserved happiness even if it was far from him. Emily felt her heart ache and swell at the same time. She realized love was not always about holding on, sometimes it was about letting go. As the plane lifted, she thought of Ryan standing by the park, waiting, hoping. Their story was not over, not really. It was a quiet, painful, beautiful pause, a chapter full of emotions that could not yet be spoken. Emily knew that even distance could not erase what they had discovered in each other. The house felt empty after she left, yet alive with memories. Ryan walked through rooms remembering small things she said, the way she laughed at simple jokes, the way her eyes lit up when she felt safe. He understood now that love could be complicated, messy, and patient. They had begun a journey neither expected, a journey that asked them to grow, to wait, to hope. And both knew that their story, full of longing and respect, was only just beginning. Emily drove to the lakeside park feeling a storm of thoughts inside her. Her chest was tight, her hands gripped the steering wheel a little too hard. She did not know what to expect. Ryan had asked her to meet him, promised honesty, and the note he had sent made her both nervous and curious. She parked near the water, the lake calm, reflecting the soft colors of the sunset. The sky was painted in orange, pink, and purple, the air cool and gentle. Ryan was already there, leaning against a tree, his posture relaxed but his eyes serious. When he saw her, he gave a small, careful smile. Emily felt a rush of emotion, warmth, and fear mixing together. She stepped out of the car, walked slowly toward him, heart pounding. The crunch of leaves under her feet made the moment feel surreal, almost dreamlike. Ryan spoke first, his voice steady, yet soft. He admitted he had feelings he had tried to ignore, tried to push aside. He said he had never expected them, that they caught him off guard. Emily felt her throat tighten, realizing he was speaking the truth she had suspected. She remembered the small moments, the coffee mornings, the notes, the walks, the jokes, and the silence that felt full. It all made sense now, yet it was terrifying. He assured her he respected boundaries, that nothing would happen unless it felt right and true. Emily felt relief, but it mixed with longing, guilt, and confusion. She looked at him, searching for answers, wanting to understand what this meant for both of them. Her voice shook slightly as she admitted her own feelings. She told him she had tried to ignore it, tried to deny the pull she felt, but it was impossible. Ryan listened, nodding, his eyes never leaving hers, calm and full of care. They talked for hours by the lakeside, the sky darkening, stars slowly appearing. No one else was around, the quiet allowed them to speak honestly, without judgment. They shared hopes, fears, dreams, and regrets. Emily confessed her fear of losing herself in feelings that could be complicated or wrong. Ryan admitted he had similar fears, that he did not want to hurt her or anyone else. But he could not ignore the truth of his heart. The conversation was raw, emotional, and tender. They both realized that love was not always simple. It required patience, respect, and honesty. Neither wanted to rush, neither wanted to act on impulse. They agreed that their relationship had to grow carefully, with boundaries, respect, and thought. It was a promise to protect each other, their family, and themselves. Days passed with a gentle tension lingering. Emily received a job offer in another city, a chance to start fresh, to grow independently. Ryan helped her pack for the move, quietly, respectfully. They laughed softly at small memories, shared snacks while folding clothes, and moved boxes together. Every moment was heavy with unspoken words, the feelings they could not fully express yet. Packing felt like a farewell, but also a step toward a new chapter, a challenge they both knew was necessary. When the day of departure came, Ryan drove her to the airport. Neither spoke much on the way, the silence filled with emotion. At the terminal, Emily hugged him tightly, feeling his steady presence, his warmth, his care. He let go first, a small, careful movement, and whispered that she deserved happiness, even if it was far from him. Tears rose in Emily's eyes, not from sadness alone, but from a mix of relief, longing, and gratitude. She understood that love was sometimes about letting go, even when it hurt, even when the heart ached. The plane lifted, and Emily looked out at the world below. She thought of Ryan standing by the lake, waiting, hoping, understanding. She realized their story was not over, that distance could not erase the emotions they had discovered. Ryan returned to the empty house, walking through the rooms, remembering her laugh, the way her eyes lit up, the small kindnesses she had left behind. He felt a mix of longing, pride, and hope, knowing that their connection was strong, even if it was paused for now. Weeks passed, and they kept in touch with small messages, shared pictures, and occasional calls. Every message was careful, thoughtful, and meaningful. Emily focused on her new job, her growth, her future, but Ryan remained in her thoughts, quietly, persistently. She realized that love was not always about possession or immediate closeness. It could be patient, respectful, and enduring. They had started a journey that required time, patience, and understanding, and they were willing to walk it carefully together. One evening, Emily sat by her window, looking at the city lights, thinking about Ryan. She smiled softly, remembering the lakeside, the conversations, the honesty. She felt gratitude for what they had shared, for the emotions they had acknowledged. It was a love complicated by circumstances, yet beautiful in its honesty. She understood that life often gave unexpected feelings, and what mattered most was handling them with care and respect. Ryan, on the other side of the distance, sat by the lake again, looking at the road she had taken. He felt longing, yes, but also hope, knowing that their bond was strong enough to survive separation. He remembered their promises, the boundaries they had respected, and the honesty they had shared. He understood that love was not about rushing, but about waiting, understanding, and being ready when the time was right. In that moment, both realized their hearts had found something rare. It was not easy, it was not simple, but it was real, tender, and enduring. They had discovered the truth of their feelings, the power of honesty, and the strength of respect. Their story was not over, it had only reached a new chapter. And both of them, miles apart but connected in heart, knew that the journey ahead would be full of hope, patience, and quiet love.